Welcome to another chapter. I'm so glad that you're here. Whether you're healing from a loss, rediscovering yourself, planning your next adventure, or simply learning to choose joy again, I hope something in today's video reminds you the story isn't over and living is just beginning. So, hi. And I want to do more get ready with me videos while we just talk about different things. I have another online meeting for my job. And yes, I like to put on makeup for virtual meetings because this is just how I was raised. I was raised that you always try to look your best no matter what. And my mother raised me well, so you could always do that. But we'll just talk about a few things. I was having this conversation with a few of my friends, and we was talking about, ways to deal with bouncing back, bouncing back for whatever, setbacks or anything from job or loss of relationship or, in my case, losing a parent, my main parent, my mother, and then in my case, also losing other loved ones as well. And how do you bounce back from that? And I know I've touched on this more like a few times, and I understand everyone's different. I get that. But I believe you have to want to bounce back, though. I think that's the main thing a lot of people aren't doing. Bronzer. Yes, in the summertime, I use bronzer as my setting powder. It's too hot. Plus, I have a tan, so bronzer is my perfect color. Not doing liquid foundation in the summertime. But anyway, Rimmel, by the way. But you have to want to bounce back. There are so many people who I believe enjoy being unhappy. And it all depends on how you were raised. I was raised that you have a certain amount of time to wallow in your grief or wallow in your being down. And then you have to start building back up. You're never going to get over the loss of a loved one. It's just not, it's not happening. But you learn how to deal with it through the proper channels, like therapy. Go to therapy. Anyone that knows me knows I work in insurance, and your policy would pay for it. Your policy should pay for it if you have a good one. But look into it. Therapy. Most of us weren't raised to go to therapy, and I believe that I should have probably been in therapy when my parents went through a divorce when I was younger. But I believe that a lot of us don't go through therapy because we were raised that the church fixes everything. Nothing wrong with going to your pastor, your spiritual advisor. I actually picked a therapist who has a Christian background, and you can do that. They will tell you what their beliefs are in their bios. So you don't have to choose either or. That's the thing. You don't have to do that. You can literally pick a therapist who is either in your age range or older. In my case, I did both. When I originally chose a therapist, I want someone that had something to do with my background. So my family is from the South, but I was born and raised, and I'm from St. Louis. So I had a therapist who was similar, and initially that worked out well for me because we understood each other as far as backgrounds, right? And then she moved, and I looked for another therapist, and this time I actually had my aunts help me. We looked through the therapist, and we were able to find one that was older, and she had more specialties, and it just worked out better for me because she was like a more authoritative figure for me. And I needed that. And I still like that. She allows me to vent about certain things, but also guides me. She doesn't take control. She allows me to control the sessions and then guides me in the right direction. And that is what a good therapist probably should do. Probably wouldn't align myself with people who don't see the need of therapy, because even if you didn't go on a regular basis, if you just did once or twice a year, it's still better than nothing. And you're able to talk to someone one-on-one that's trained to help you with whatever you're going through. So that's another way to bounce back. Get into therapy. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. You need it. Yes, you do. Yes, you too. You need it. Yes, you do. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It just doesn't. You need it. And I think most of us need it, but only a few of us will admit it. And I'm telling you, when you finally do that, it unlocks your potential of healing in a way that is unlike anything else. And once you go through that process, and by the way, therapy is a process. It's not a once and done thing. Therapy is not like you go once and you're done. No, it's a process. And depending on what you went through, you may want to go a few times a year, every year. Who's going to know but you and your therapist? That's the main thing. You don't have to tell everybody that. You go. Whether you're paying out of pocket or using your insurance or whatever, you go. It's between you and them. No one else has to know. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people don't go. They think that it's a stigma to it, and then they don't want other people to know about it. And that's why you're stuck where you're at. I'm just thinking about myself before I went, and then in the beginning stages. Huge difference. My family would tell you, my closest friends would tell you, even my hairdresser would tell you, like everyone would tell you the difference just from, I would say 2.5, 3 years ago to now. When my mother died, it's been 6 years. Well, it'll be 7 soon. I was just in this. She was my best friend, my protector. There was no one on earth that knew me better than my mother, and everyone who knew me knew my mother. We were like come on, all the time. And I think a lot of people expected me to fold for some reason, which is crazy because I was raised correctly. You deal with the grief, but while you deal with it, you still pick yourself up. Realize that therapy probably was the best thing. So that's how I began my bounce back. And then the next thing for me is realizing what my goals were supposed to be, right? And my goals change a lot. My goals have changed so much. They're going to always change, right? My main goal was to be financially stable, and not just to pay bills, but savings and investments, and just the things you want to do. And this is a very neutral brush. L'Oreal True Match, neutral blush. But that's another thing. I realized that I could not, I have multiple degrees. So that's another thing to bounce back. You need to figure out what your goals are. Short-term goals, midterm, long-term, right? And they're going to change. Mine have changed. Mine are always changing. I mean, getting back into content making, I kept saying I was going to do it. I have, and you want to do it, but you have to really feel comfortable back in front of the camera, because you are just talking to yourself, and you have to deal with trolls, and you have to deal with a lot of people. But when you are in sales, you're so used to getting yelled at that it doesn't matter. So it's just like another person calling me the B word. Okay. So, you know, at this point, okay, I'm not saying I like it, but I'm tougher now too. I've been in sales, whether I was in advertising, marketing, music industry, insurance industry, on my own stuff, doing my own things, promotions. I've always been in some type of sales and marketing, and I'm so used to it that it just was a matter of time that I got back into my creativity as well. And so that's another outlet. I think the last few years I've been playing with the idea I would post a video here, a clip here, a blog post here, a blog post there, but I was never consistent. I can hear my friend Renell now, consistency. Oh my God, he's gonna love that I said that. But that's another thing, being consistent with whatever it takes to bounce back. So being consistent with your therapy, with your goals, with your job that you're on, and just an outlet. If it's making any type of video or anything, just being consistent. And that's another way to bounce back. Growing, you have to sometimes let go of anything that's not good for you or anyone, right? And that can be hard. And this is, where are we at? This is MAC Bowley Bear lip liner. But letting go of people can be the hardest thing ever. Because you may feel like you are initially out isolating yourself. I think for me, I kept putting off going back to YouTube or making Instagram videos or any videos because I was not at the perfect goal that I had set for myself. And that's just ridiculous. There's no such thing as perfection, right? But I was in my head. And I would say right after London, my trip to London this year, going back to London for my birthday in February, and making a few videos, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm good with being back in front of the camera, you know? Yeah, so I decided to post a video every day. I would say it was like end of March. Let's just see what my creative juices can do, right? And I started liking it. I forgot this. Oh man, this is a good lipstick, by the way. This is it's MAC, of course. Everything's gonna be MAC as far as lips. So this is Cool Teddy. But I was posting tons and tons of videos, the short clips on Instagram, you know, and I love that lipstick. And Macy's really did have a good deal because they, well, I mean, MAC and Macy's really did have a good deal. Anyway, and I really enjoyed doing it and not knowing what the outcomes were going to be. I just let the YouTube channel go, and now I want to go back. And because I'm healed. I don't want to say I'm healed. I'm going to always miss my mother. Always. I'm going to always miss my loved ones. Always. Why not come back? Go back to YouTube, go back online, be creative. You don't have to be perfect. Like I said, I get my hair done again in a few days. My nail broke, okay? I'm doing makeup early in the morning before a meeting. I'm just ready to get back out there. But that is how I began to bounce back. Because I wanted to. And that's the truth. So let's enjoy this ride. We're going to do a lot more videos very soon.